Fofana was a 17-year-old boy living in a modest African town. This town, neither rich nor poor, was made up of middle-class neighborhoods. The streets, often dusty, were lined with simple, sometimes dilapidated houses, but always bustling with the life of the residents. The inhabitants led honorable lives, earning a living through small businesses, crafts, or service jobs. Yet, beneath this apparent normalcy, Fofana felt lonely, rejected, and invisible. Since his childhood, he had been cast aside, mocked, and ignored. The boys his age didn't want to play with him, and the girls turned away as soon as he approached. Snide laughter and mocking whispers had become his daily reality. Despite his desire to fit in, he seemed to be marked by some kind of social curse. Even within his own family, Fofana felt like a stranger. His siblings, once close to him, had distanced themselves, leaving him to retreat into a heavy solitude. His only solace came from his mother, a loving and gentle woman. She was his pillar, reminding him every day that he was precious and valuable, even if the world seemed not to see it. But his mother's love, as strong as it was, wasn't enough to fill the emptiness in Fofana's heart. He spent hours wondering why he was so rejected. Was it his appearance, his behavior, or something else he couldn't understand? One day, while wandering through the town's alleys, Fofana came across a poster promising to regain your authority and your place in the world. The idea intrigued him. Perhaps this training could change his life, he thought. With a mix of hope and skepticism, he signed up and attended the sessions. But despite all the advice and exercises, nothing changed. He remained the invisible boy, the one no one wanted to approach. Determined to fight, he tried to change things on his own. He made efforts to talk to the girls, to create friendships, but all his attempts failed. The girls continued to push him away, and the boys persisted in ignoring him. People said that walking with him was shameful, and this constant humiliation plunged him into deep despair. It was then that Fofana turned to a respected seer in the town. This man, known for his wisdom and mystical abilities, had a reputation for solving the darkest mysteries. When Fofana arrived before him, the seer observed him for a long time, as if looking beyond his appearance. Finally, the seer revealed a disconcerting truth. An old merchant woman from the town, driven by fierce jealousy, had cursed him before his birth. She had seen immense potential in him and, fearing that he might overshadow her, had sealed his power to use it for her own benefit. The curse had condemned him to a life of social invisibility and rejection. The seer explained that to break this curse, Fofana needed to leave the town and isolate himself in a distant place. There, he could focus on his soul and follow a precise ritual of spiritual purification. Though skeptical, Fofana felt a spark of hope reignite within him. He decided to leave, despite the pain of parting from his mother, the only person who had always supported him. In a remote village, far from the bustling town, Fofana began his journey. Each day, he diligently followed the prayers and rituals prescribed by the seer. He spent hours meditating, refocusing, and searching for a strength he had never felt before. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Slowly, Fofana began to feel a change. His shyness gave way to budding confidence. His thoughts, once filled with doubt, were now occupied by determination. One night, as he slept deeply, he had a strange dream. A bright light enveloped him, as if seeking to dispel the darkness around him. Then, a black shadow emerged from his body, swirling in the air before vanishing into nothingness. When he woke up, Fofana knew something had changed. He felt light, as though a weight he had carried all his life had finally disappeared. Rather than returning immediately to the town, Fofana decided to test his newfound strength in a big city. He found a modest but stable job and began to climb the ranks through his determination and discipline. He saved money, learned to interact with others, and earned the respect of his colleagues. Gradually, he built a new life, far from the shadow of his past. Months later, when he returned to the town, he was unrecognizable. His once hesitant demeanor was now filled with confidence. His gaze, once downcast, was now direct and assured. The townspeople, stunned, couldn't believe he was the same boy they had rejected. Fofana gathered the townspeople and told them his story. He revealed the curse he had been under, the trials he had faced, and how he had broken free. He exposed the old merchant woman, who was confronted with her actions. Ashamed, she confessed everything and was banished from the town. Fofana was now respected, loved, and admired. But he didn't let this newfound adoration go to his head. He used his story to inspire others, showing them that even in the darkest moments, it's possible to rise again. He had learned that true strength lies not only in power, but in the ability to persevere in the face of adversity. Thus, Fofana not only found his place in the world, but also became a living example of resilience and courage for all who had once rejected him. And that's the end of Fofana's story. A journey full of emotions, challenges, and resilience. But don't stop here. Even more captivating stories await you on this channel. Stories that will make you feel, smile, and sometimes even think. So, don't miss out. Subscribe now and join this adventure where every video is a life lesson. See you soon.